My name is Reba Snyder. I am a paper conservator at the Morgan Library and Museum. What you're looking at is the bound volume that contains the manuscript for Charles Dickens' Christmas Carol, which has held this manuscript for over 100 years. When the manuscript for Christmas Carol was brought to the Conservation Lab, what we saw was that each page had been silked. And on the right-hand side, on the back of the page, you can see this very, very fine fabric laid across the surface of the paper. And that is actually a thin layer of silk and adhesive. What we have learned over the years is that silk deteriorates faster than paper deteriorates. And in this case, the silk had become brittle, and the adhesive that was holding the silk onto each page was also stiffening and hardening the paper. So the conservation treatment was undertaken to remove the silk, to wash the pages, to make them more pliable, and then eventually, after the full treatment, these same pages will be reinserted into the original binding. The conservation treatment of this manuscript began with the removal of the pages from the binding. This was done by Frank Trujillo. You can see that he is very carefully cutting along the edge of the page, not into the manuscript, but into the paper stub that is holding it into the binding. On the right, you see the pages and that torn edge where they've come out of the binding. And on the left, you see him very, very carefully cutting through that edge of paper. After careful testing, I determined that the safest way to remove the silk from the back of each sheet of manuscript was by immersing it in a bath of alcohol and water. Water will help soften the adhesive that's holding the silk in place, and the alcohol will make sure that the ink is stable, and I will start to peel away the loosened silk from the back of the manuscript page. You can see that the silk is very fine, but very tenaciously adhered to the back of the paper. The silk is generally held in place with a starch adhesive, and the silk is being peeled away very, very carefully, making sure that nothing happens to the paper of the manuscript. The silk is removed pretty much in one piece, although there are always small bits of silk left behind. Once the full sheet of silk is removed, I take a small, soft brush and brush the back of each piece of paper, loosening the little silk fibers that are left behind and the adhesive that remains on the back of each piece of paper. There's also, along each edge, the stub of paper that was used to adhere it into the binding. And in this image, you can see me loosening that paper, which is held on with an animal glue and was a little bit tough to get off. Once all the adhesive, paper, and silk have been removed, the manuscript page is moved into a clean bath of water, which has been buffered with an alkaline solution. This helps continue to wash the paper. The paper becomes more pliable, it becomes a little bit lighter in tone, and much more flexible. When the washing treatment is complete, the page is removed from the bath and brought across the room to be laid on a piece of blotter on a table. The blotting paper helps absorb the excess moisture. It allows the paper to dry slowly and safely, and each page is allowed to sit on that table overnight, air drying, so that the ink sets up perfectly and there is no blurring or smearing or damage to the surface of the paper. After it's dried, the pages will be flattened, and eventually, when the exhibition is over, all of the manuscript pages will be reinserted into the original 19th century binding that Dickens commissioned.